In this video, we're going to install PyCharm, the Community Edition. But first we need to make sure Python is installed. So go ahead and open up your command line tools. I'm using the Commander application, which is an emulation for the command line tools, and it gives me a lot more control over my environment. Now go ahead in your command line, type python -- version. If we get a version output, that means we have a version. So we have 3.6 running on here. If you have 2.7, you should be fine, but I recommend you run at least version 3 for newer development environments. So I can close this out now and then open up a browser, and we're going to go to the PyCharm website by typing in and searching for PyCharm. We're going to click on the first link, which is the PyCharm or JetBrains PyCharm. We're then going to scroll on down to where we see download now, and then make sure that we have Windows selected because that is what we are installing this on. And then we want to select the Community Edition, so click the black button that says Free Open Source. Go ahead, download that. Once it's downloaded, you can go ahead and close the window or close the browser. Next, find where you have it downloaded. By default, I have mine in the File Explorer in the Downloads directory. So there's no reason for me to have two of these copies, obviously. Now, double-click your PyCharm community, whatever version it has you set at. Double-click that to run the installer. Say yes in case you get a pop-up. Click Next. Choose Installation Location. Next. We want to keep it as the default. If you're on a 32-bit, select 32-bit launcher, which is a shortcut that will appear here on the desktop. Most of you are likely on 64-bit editions nowadays, so go ahead, select that. Create association. Not required, but if you're only going to be using PyCharm with Python programs or Python programs in PyCharm, go ahead and associate it. Go ahead, click on Download and install Java Runtime Environment x86 for JetBrains. Click Next. Click Install. I'm going to pause this video until it's done installing. Wait for the installation to finish up. Alright, now that it's been installed, go ahead and click Finish. I'm not going to check this because I want to make sure that it has been created. So click Finish. Go ahead, close out our Downloads directory or File Explorer. We see that our shortcut has been generated on our desktop. Go ahead, double click this. On the initial first time load, go ahead, say do not import settings. We don't need to worry about this again unless you already have settings installed. Next, go ahead, say skip remaining and set defaults. We don't need to do any advanced settings at the moment. There's no need. If you want a darker theme, select that now, but I'm going to keep it at the IntelliJ design, which is the light theme. Now, as it installs, it's going to do an additional environment setup when we create a new project. Don't worry about that. It shouldn't do that too often. Click Create New Project. Let's name this new project Hello World. You can name it however you like. I'm going to call it Hello. That works. Create. Wait till the environment is set up. Now that our environment is set up, you can keep tips on this if you want to see new tips about how the application works, or you can uncheck it like I've done. Click Close, and then come over here. You can expand your directory by clicking on this side arrow and seeing what's going on. We don't actually need to see what's in venv. Make sure your root directory is selected. Click File, New, and this will give us an option to create either a new directory, package, whatever it may be, HTML or Python file. You may also right-click and select New and then Python file. Let's call this Hello. If you press Enter or OK, the same thing will happen. It'll add a .py extension. You could also have typed py with it, and it'll do the same thing. Now, type the word print, and then open parentheses with a close parentheses. It should do an autofill for you or an auto close. Add double quotes or single quotes and type Hello World. Now that that's done, you can go ahead and you can either click here up in the top where it says run and say run, and it'll give you the option to run a file. If you have multiple files, it'll give you multiple options. Or you can come under the directory here on the left side, right click it, and say run hello. And we get an output that says hello world. Let's change it up a little bit and say hello, comma, how are you? And let's go ahead and we can run it up here as well. So we're going to say run hello because that's what's currently selected. And now it prints out hello, how are you? Thanks for watching. Now you know how to install PyCharm. I'm going to close the application out. And we're good.